This is Holy Family School of Faith.
Hello, and welcome to The Table, Conversations on Catholic Education. My name is Nicholas Hinkle, and today I'll be talking with you about the ways that being read to as a kid helped to prepare me for college. As a short disclaimer, I'm not going to say that these are always in foolproof plans in order to prepare your kid for college to get the same results as me. Hopefully you get much better results. I know, but these are just the ways that I was prepared for college. These are how being read to helped me. So I hope that they do the same for you if you're a kid, or your kids if you're an adult. But without further ado, let's jump right into number one. The first way that being read to prepared me for college is that it helped me to focus on solely auditory information. So for my college, I'm not sure if this is true for all, but for mine, most, if not all, of the classes relied very, very heavily on lectures and on the professor giving us their stories, their examples, their critiques, all just in a lecture style format. I'm sure I had many PowerPoints and things like that, which did give some visual components, but primarily the way that they chose to convey the meaning that they wanted to was through auditory means, through their voices, through recordings from other professors. And I'm sure we've all experienced at one time or another a very boring speaker. Unfortunately, I had a few of those kind of professors. I am one of 6 kids. My parents would read to us a lot, and if I zoned out, as maybe I commonly would when I was little, I didn't have the opportunity to say, hey, listen, why don't we go back and reread that last page? I was thinking about the toy that I wanted or whatever, because if I did, my brother would punch me in the shoulder, as brothers usually will do. So that really did, though. I had to experience not knowing what was going on quite often in order to teach myself, okay, I need to focus in on what's going on in the story. What is my dad saying? Not allow my mind to wander off. And that skill of being able to focus purely on the auditory information that's coming in, the story that's being told to me, really helped me in college, because I know that a lot of people experience a lot of visual communication these days with technology, with computers, with phones, that there's a lot of visuals presented to us, especially, for example, in my high school. We all had laptops. There was a lot of technology in the classroom, a lot of opportunities to receive that visual information. But then once we came to college, many of the professors didn't want laptops open in their classes, as they thought it was too distracting, so they didn't allow it. And so there would be some who had some visual sorts of learning, but that might have just been, a picture that was posted up on the projector for the entire class. Nothing moving, nothing fancy. So in college, I really had to go back to those roots, those skills that I developed when I was little, of being able to just focus without zoning out or falling asleep on the words that were being presented to me by my professor. I had to be able to say, okay, I'm going to calm down. I'm going to kind of close my eyes and just listen to the story that my professor is telling me, so that I can retain that information. And this brings me to the second way that being read to helped me in college, is that after remembering the words that were spoken to me, I was able to write them down more clearly, more fluently. And I think this is something across the board, that reading is going to help with fluency. But I think speaking, hearing the spoken word does as well. And so I actually listened to a lot of books on tape when I was little, and that actually, I did mean on tape, like on a cassette tape. So I remember the days when I would have to rewind the tape before my sibling would be able to use it. Now, granted, I am not quite that old enough to have that be the breaking technology of the time. We just got a lot of our tapes from the library, and that's just what they had, so that's what we had to deal with. But having to listen to the books that I really loved really taught me a fluency with the words and descriptions that they used that really helped me in college, because And again, this is something I think across the board, that more reading, more listening to people talk is going to help you do the same. And so when I was listening to the books, it really helped me to develop my vocabulary and to develop my enunciation of words. And now the third and final way that being read to prepared me for college is in the what I'm calling the development of ideas. I don't really know a succinct way to say this, but the idea of being able to have downtime in between getting one idea and then coming back to it with the same understandings, the same things that are turning around in your head. And this had to happen because when, for example, my dad would pick up the book, we were beginning to read right where we left off, because he has a pretty good memory. So he would always remember where we were. So I had to kind of remember as well. I had to make notes in my head. Okay, these were the important things that happened last time we read as we were reading. And then to leave, go to sleep for the night or whatever, and then come back and say, okay, the whole day has passed, a lot of things, but I'm going to come back. I'm going to remember what took place, and I'm going to begin listening, picking up right where we left off, and be able to put myself back in the story, back in the relationships that were going on within the book. And I think that being read to helps to develop this, because you're not, again, in control of if you can go back and reread what's going on. Being read to is just, you have to pick it up and go with what the other person is saying and be able to just keep what happened last time in mind. And obviously, this helped in college, because going from one class to another, to another, to another, sleeping, whatever, coming back, class, I really needed to be able to jump back into what was going on in that class and be able to say, okay, I remember inside my mind when I was listening to this professor, I remember this is what we talked about. These are the main ideas that I think this professor is trying to say. How are these ideas being developed by what's being said right now? These skills of better memory, of better fluency, and developing ideas, coming back and being able to take them back up again, I can really trace back in my life to my parents reading to me and to listening to books on tape. And I just hope that these videos that my colleagues have done help to inspire you to do the same with your kids, or to just listen to books on tape, no matter what your age is. I think it'll help you, and it's a very good use of your time, I think. And now, if you have found this conversation helpful, or if you disagree with me, then please subscribe and comment what you think on the video, and let me know, and join us as we discuss in these coming weeks about reading out loud and how that can affect you and your children positively. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you all.